GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
A surge in housing prices is forcing families to rethink their budgets. And here's what that means for Montreal today.
Public health officials in Quebec have confirmed a sharp uptick in raccoon rabies cases in the areas south and east of Montreal. The agency warned that the virus, which is transmissible to humans and domestic animals, continues to spread unchecked across the region. Surveillance teams have documented a growing number of infected animals over the past several weeks, prompting an advisory for residents to avoid direct contact with wildlife and to secure pet vaccinations. Officials emphasized that the disease can be fatal if untreated and urged anyone who has been bitten or scratched to seek medical attention immediately. The health authority will increase testing at local laboratories and expand bait distribution programs aimed at vaccinating wild raccoon populations. Residents are asked to report sightings of sick or dead raccoons to the appropriate municipal hotline.
Firefighters rushed to a 3-story apartment building in Montreal Nord this afternoon after a blaze erupted on the 2nd floor. The flames quickly spread, trapping residents and prompting a massive emergency response. 2 children were rescued from the unit but suffered serious injuries and were airlifted to a nearby hospital for intensive care. Several adults were also evacuated, though they escaped unharmed. The fire burned for roughly an hour before being contained, and crews continue to search for any hidden hotspots. The building houses about 24 units, most occupied by families, and a nearby resident sounded the alarm, giving crews precious minutes to act. Police and fire officials said the cause remains under investigation, and the borough's mayor has offered support to the affected families. Streets including Boulevard St. Laurent were closed, causing traffic delays as investigators secured the area.
Robert Monette stepped into a new chapter today, moving into a subsidized apartment within a transitional housing project aimed at ending homelessness. The development, located in the city, contains 18 apartments that combine reduced rent with on-site counseling services. Officials say the model is designed to give residents the stability and support needed to secure long-term housing. Monette, who spent several years on the streets, described the move as a turning point, noting the quiet hallway and a key of his own for the first time in years. The initiative reflects a broader municipal effort to pair financial assistance with personal guidance, helping individuals move out of temporary shelters and into permanent homes. City planners hope the approach will be replicated as part of the ongoing strategy to reduce homelessness across the island.
Canada's midfield stalwart Ismaël Koné underwent successful surgery this morning to repair a fractured leg at a Montreal hospital. The operation follows the national team's 6-0 World Cup victory over Qatar, a match in which Koné sustained the break after the final whistle. Team physicians confirmed the fracture required surgical intervention and reported that the procedure restored the bone's alignment without complications. The win marked a dominant performance for Canada, while the injury sidelines the playmaker for the foreseeable future. Officials said Koné will now embark on a rehabilitation program, with hopes that he can return to training in due course. The national squad continues its World Cup campaign, adjusting tactics in his absence. The 6-0 victory, achieved earlier this week, highlighted Canada's attacking prowess, while the subsequent injury underscores the physical demands of high-level competition.
An escaped kangaroo that was being kept illegally on Montreal's South Shore has found a new home at Granby Zoo. Zoo staff say the animal was taken in after authorities discovered the illegal holding and the kangaroo fled. Since arriving at the zoo on June 19, the marsupial has settled in well and is eating regularly, according to keepers. Granby Zoo, located about an hour north of Montreal in the town of Granby, Quebec, is providing veterinary care and a suitable enclosure while officials continue their investigation into the unlawful possession. The zoo's veterinary team reports the animal appears healthy and active. Provincial wildlife officials are reviewing the circumstances that led to the illegal captivity. Granby Zoo officials added that the kangaroo will remain under their supervision as the case proceeds. The incident follows a recent enforcement action that uncovered the unauthorized wildlife holding on the South Shore.
Later we'll hear how Montreal policed to meet city officials privately over racism complaints and what it means for us. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that break. Let's dive straight into today's headlines, and now Rachel will take us through the local stories.
The Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal will sit down with elected city officials in a closed-door session at City Hall on Monday, June 22nd. Police leadership has been summoned to detail the service's handling of recent accusations that certain officers engaged in racist conduct. Municipal leaders have opted for a private meeting, meaning the public will not have direct access to question police representatives during the discussion. Officials say the session is intended to clarify how the force responded to the complaints and what steps may follow. The decision to keep the dialogue off the record has drawn attention, as residents await clearer answers about accountability within the police service. The meeting follows a string of public grievances that have raised concerns about bias, and council members say the private setting may foster frank discussion, though some argue it reduces transparency.
Police say a 28-year-old man commandeered a patrol vehicle early on June 19th, sparking a high-speed chase that stretched nearly 60 kilometers across the city. Officers spotted the suspect after a robbery and observed him fleeing in the marked car, prompting units to give chase. The pursuit weaved through residential streets and main arteries, with officers coordinating to block exits and protect bystanders. The pursuit temporarily shut down several downtown arteries, prompting commuters to seek alternate routes. After a tense 30-minute pursuit, the suspect abandoned the vehicle near the outskirts of the borough, where he was taken into custody without further incident. No officers were injured, and the stolen patrol car was recovered with minor damage. Authorities emphasized the seriousness of using law enforcement equipment in criminal activity and indicated an ongoing investigation into how the suspect accessed the vehicle.
The mayor will meet privately with the Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal on June 19th to discuss the planned dismantling of Police District 39. The session, closed to the public, comes as the city pushes back the public hearing that was to examine the police service's 2025 report. Officials say the delay allows additional time to review recommendations that could affect patrol coverage and response times in neighborhoods surrounding the former PDQ 39 site. Residents near the precinct have voiced concerns about potential gaps in emergency services and the impact on local traffic patterns. By postponing the hearing, the administration hopes to incorporate community feedback before final decisions are made. The outcome will shape how policing resources are allocated across the borough in the months ahead.
The Quebec Transportation Agency announced Tuesday that the projected budget for the 24-kilometer Gatineau tramway has ballooned to roughly $8 billion, about 4 times the original estimate. The steep increase has set officials scrambling to reassess the scope of the project, with discussions underway about trimming routes or delaying phases to bring costs down. The tramway, first envisioned as a cost-effective solution to regional transit, now faces a financial gap that could reshape its design. Government representatives said the new figures reflect higher construction prices, expanded infrastructure needs, and revised engineering plans. As the province weighs options, commuters who expected a faster link between downtown and surrounding neighborhoods may see a smaller network or a longer timeline before service begins. Transportation ministers said the new estimate will require shifting money from other provincial transit projects.
The province has announced that processing of family reunification immigration requests is back in operation after a 12-month pause. Effective June 19th, the new online portal will handle applications, replacing the previous paper-based method. Officials say the restart follows a year-long suspension that left many families waiting for permits to join relatives. The updated system is intended to streamline reviews and reduce waiting times, though no specific timeline has been given for individual cases. The move comes as the government seeks to address demographic concerns and support the province's labor market by allowing newcomers to settle with their support networks. Applicants who submitted paperwork before the shutdown are being instructed to re-enter their files through the new platform. The change marks the first intake of family reunification cases since the suspension began.
Now let's turn to our meteorologist for a quick look at tonight's weather across the island.
Tonight's weather snapshot rolls in, keeping you in the loop for tomorrow's plans and beyond. On this day in Montreal's record books, the thermometer climbed to 33.7 degrees Celsius in 2024, a blistering peak that rode the tail of a late summer heat wave. Just 2 years earlier, in 2022, a sharp cold snap pushed temperatures down to 8.7 degrees Celsius, the coldest June reading on record. By contrast, the climate normal for mid-June hovers around 23 degrees Celsius for the high and 15 for the low, giving today's modest 18-degree peak a comfortable feel. Right now, Montreal sits under a soft overcast blanket with 16 degrees Celsius and humidity near 88%. A gentle breeze nudges at 14 kilometers per hour, but gusts will rise to 43 kilometers per hour from the west as the night deepens. The sky will stay cloud-filled through the early morning, keeping temperatures steady around 15 degrees. As the day unfolds, the high will climb to 18 degrees Celsius, still comfortably mild. The UV index remains modest at 4, so sunscreen isn't a priority. With no rain in the forecast and no active alerts, it's a calm night for late-night walks or a quiet drive home. Up next, let's glance at the 5-day outlook. Looking ahead, Saturday will bring a high of 21 degrees Celsius and a low of 15, with overcast skies and a 30% chance of rain in the afternoon. Sunday mirrors the temperature range, but the rain probability climbs to 55%, so keep an umbrella handy if you're heading out. Monday stays mild at 23 degrees high and 16 low, again overcast with a 30% rain window. Tuesday offers the warmest spell, reaching 24 degrees and clearing to a bright sky, though a lingering 30% chance of showers remains. Finally, Wednesday settles back to 23 degrees with a gentle overcast, no rain expected, giving a pleasant mid-week finish. Stay comfortable and enjoy the varied week ahead.
Up next, we break down morning traffic, preview today's arts lineup, and catch our Canadians in the playoffs. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
A quieter sports board today, with no fresh local team update from RSS. The Canadians made NHL award history when captain Nick Suzuki claimed the Frank J. Selk Trophy and teammate Cole Caulfield was awarded the Lady Byng Trophy, both on the same day. According to CBC Sports NHL, the NHL confirmed both honors simultaneously, a rare double for any franchise. More good news out of the Canadiens organization, prospect Bryce Pickford has been named CHL Defenseman of the Year. Sportsnet reports the honor signals promising depth in Montreal's defensive pipeline, a name Habs fans will want to remember. On the women's side, the PWHL has released the selection order for its 2026 draft, set to take place in 2 days. Sportsnet reports the announcement gives teams and fans a clearer picture of how draft day will unfold.
On a bright Tuesday morning on St. Laurent, the Quebec Treasury's team gathered in a glass-walled conference room above a bustling cafe, where the scent of fresh espresso drifted in as they unfolded a new plan. Deputy Minister Isabelle Tremblay stood beside a group of data analysts, each laptop displaying a map of the province's biggest digital projects, health records, transportation tickets, the long-delayed SAA Q-Click replacement. Together they announced a shift. The Treasury will now centralize oversight of every major IT initiative and launch a rapid response unit that will spot cost overruns the moment a red flag flickers. The change feels tangible. In the corner, a young coder from a local university smiled, recalling the night his team stayed up watching a budget dashboard crash, wondering how many more resources were being wasted. With the new team's early warning system, that uncertainty will turn into confidence, letting innovators focus on building instead of firefighting. Montreal families, who rely on those services every day, can finally breathe easier knowing the province is watching closely. It's a promise that the province's digital future will be built responsibly, for all of us.
On St. Urbain Street in the Myland, the low-rise brick building that housed Hydro-Quebec's Battery Materials Research Center has been quiet since the doors closed last week. Inside, a handful of engineers and chemists gathered around a battered coffee table, sorting through notebooks and prototype cells. As the final inventory was logged, a neighbor from the bakery next door rolled out a tray of fresh croissants, a quiet thank you for years of quiet innovation. The team, many of whom have called this part of the city home for more than a decade, We'll now transition to new projects across the utilities network, and a few have already accepted positions at a local startup focused on recycling lithium-ion components. In the meantime, the empty lab space will be handed over to a community arts collective that plans to turn the former clean room into a gallery for emerging Montreal artists. It's a small reminder that even when a chapter ends, the people and the place can find fresh purpose, and the city's rhythm keeps moving forward.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the wrap. Tonight's highlight, an escaped kangaroo that found a new home at Granby Zoo, reminded us that surprises still happen. I appreciate your trust in our coverage. Tune in tomorrow for more stories that matter to our city. Stay safe and see you then.